Guys, good morning. What is the story? Bitcoin with Danny, it's Danny here. Give yourself a stretch and smash the like button. Are we still saying that? Give it a press anyway, it supports the algorithm. Some people have doubled their time to retirement. And I want to chat about that this morning. Not give you a hard time about it, but just try and explain the math, because procrastination is like the death of success. Procrastination is something that I struggled with, before breaking my back. And then after breaking my back, I realised that, nothing really matters. What are you worried about, Danny? Take action, take imperfect action, all this shit. And my life changed in an amazing way, and I started to have loads of success instead of being my own worst enemy. Okay? But procrastinating and not taking action, alright, will crucify your success. And I want to just talk to you a little bit about that. And I also want to give you the 3 sort of basic points on Bitcoin that you need to understand, and that's its main value prop. And when you understand that, you might understand what its future potential might be, and it'll help you make better decisions. I could have went this way now. It's school time, so it's chock-a-block. Go run over a few kids. So just in starting off, I suppose Bitcoin is up 80% this year and 30% this month. That's colossal percentage increases, okay? If you go and have a look at your traditional pension and ask your pension manager about how long does it take my pension to double in value, okay? Ask them for the crack, alright? But it's a long time. And Bitcoin's done this in a couple of months. At Bitcoin with Danny, what we do, alright, where I'm going now is up to the Bitcoin with Danny office. I'm going up to meet a client, and we're going to be building his plan to retire early, and we're going to be building it around what I call as a Bitcoin pension plan, or retirement plan B, or digital asset pension plan. Okay, so we leverage this Bitcoin space, digital asset space, and we build a plan to retire early within this. Okay, now just my shout out to try and get you to take action and pay attention to this is, anyone who's ignored this and watched my videos and not taken action and just says, yeah, I might do that, well, Bitcoin is up 80%, okay? So that's almost 100%, that's almost a doubling in people's wealth, alright? So for you to do that, okay, you've missed out on 100% doubling, alright? That means you've doubled your time to your potential retirement. If you're like, once I have 500k, once I have a portfolio worth 500k, I give up work, it's over, I just retire on that money and life's good, or whatever the figure is. Maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's 10 million. I don't know how frugally or exorbitant you want to live. Okay, sorry. I'm sitting here talking to you. So by procrastinating, you've cost yourself a huge move. Alright, and you've cost yourself a lot of time. Now, it still, I'm not saying you can't retire early. Of course you can retire early if you act on this, okay? But you can't retire as early as if you acted at the start of this year. Your retirement age would have happened in half the time, because you've missed a double. Alright, now market might pull back, so maybe you've not fully missed it, but if the market doesn't pull back, you've missed pretty much 100%. Okay, you've missed a double in your wealth, which causes a double in the time until you get to retire. Okay? Now, this is off topic. It was something we discussed last night in the Retire Early Club. Shameless plug. If you want to understand all this and build it all for yourself, look at Bitcoin with Danny's Retirement Club, or Retire Early Club on bitcoinwithdanny.com. But as I was saying to the guys, it's kind of difficult in Bitcoin, because the way you're successful in Bitcoin is the earlier you can understand it, the better for you. Okay? And the more aggressive you are earlier, the better for you. Now what I mean by that is, let's say you're coming into Bitcoin, you're dipping your toe in, you're on Revolut, you're buying 50 quid a week, 50 quid a month, whatever. Okay? You're just dipping your toe in. Let's say you're someone who earns 50k a year, alright? Or 60k a year, and you're buying 50 quid a month. So it's a pretty marginal small investment compared to the amount of net money you're taking home. Okay, so you're very low exposure to Bitcoin. And in 4 years time, no, let's go back in time. So it's 2017, okay? And you're buying your 50 quid a month. And your dollar cost average, you're doing all the right things. And Bitcoin is priced, between 3 grand and 6 grand. In fact, it did go all the way down to 1 grand, okay? It would have been much better off for you to just take a bigger bet earlier. To go deep dive into Bitcoin, figure it out really quick, get all the information you could, and make a bigger bet. Because today, in today's terms, you're in Bitcoin 5 years now, you really understand the technology, now your dollar cost averaging £1,000 a month. Okay? So it's like, what's that, 20 times bigger bet? I don't know. Yeah, 20 times bigger bet. Okay, or 20 times more risk, or 20 times more capital. However, because the asset has appreciated as Bitcoin does, you can never catch up on the opportunity that you had earlier in 2017. Just like today, those people who tiptoe along and figure this out slowly, and in 4 years' time are going like, holy crap, I was way underexposed to this thing, I need to accumulate more Bitcoin. It's not going to be possible for you to do it, because, you know, it's likely Bitcoin could be 10 times more expensive, 5 times more expensive. It's already twice as expensive, which in only a month, which means you need to use twice as much money for the same result. Okay? And this is what people don't get. Okay? It's cruel. I know it's cruel. It's horrible. But this is called proof of work. Bitcoin works on proof of work. But so does investing, that if you're prepared to actually do the work and put the time into it, you will get the reward. Okay? If you're prepared to build a business and put all your time into it, you'll earn more money if the business is a success than if you have a job. It's much harder to build a business. It takes much more time. Okay? But your potential earning is infinite. Whereas with your job, it's just, what's your salary? Can I ask for a raise? Okay, I got 5% this year. Happy days. Alright, but with your business, it's unlimited. You can earn whatever you want, but it takes much more work. So the earlier you figure this stuff out, the sooner you figure it out, the better for you. And again, it's just maths. It's just how this thing has been monetizing for the last 14 years. And obviously, if you need help fast tracking your understanding, check out the Bitcoin with Dini Consulting. That's what I'm on the way up to the office to do. Now, I want to keep this simple and just talk about the three things that the top three characteristics that Bitcoin has, that if you can understand them, it'll really give you a leg up on understanding where this thing goes. And I'm going to have to talk fast because hopefully the internet stays here. Hit a like button if you're understanding this and it's making a bit of sense. It supports the algorithm, and it makes me happy to see the little blue symbols and the YouTube likes going up. So the first thing that Bitcoin is, it's a money with a fixed supply. Okay, and that's why Bitcoin has just been going up over the last 14 years. Alright, now people price Bitcoin daily and monthly, and that's foolish, because daily and monthly, it's volatile. But if you stand back and look at a Bitcoin chart, right, go on to CoinGecko, click Bitcoin. Now I'm only talking about Bitcoin. I focus on Bitcoin because that's where beginners should focus, and to be honest, 99% of people don't need to go anywhere further than Bitcoin, maybe ETH. Okay, but you know, not financial advice here, but I recommend put your time into Bitcoin, forget about everything else. You're probably just going to lose your money. Ask anyone who's been in crypto who hasn't been in Bitcoin in any of the years how they're getting on. You know, all the 2020 crypto degens, they're all smashed, they're all wrecked, they've no interest in crypto anymore. Had they have been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, they would have amassed a huge sum of wealth through this Bitcoin bear market. A massive sum of wealth they would have amassed. Okay, and that's what I've been on. Every day during the bear market, and fair play to you guys are here and absorbing this stuff, because the masses aren't here yet, but they're getting more interested. Because Bitcoin went up 80%. Alright, so they're starting to come back in. They'll make all the mistakes that the 2020 class made, and they'll make all the mistakes that the 2016 class made, and they'll make all the mistakes that, you know, it's just rite of passage. If you you pay for your education, you either pay for it by mistakes or you pay for it by hiring people. I hired people to teach me back when I started, and now I teach people can hire me, I suppose. But Bitcoin is a money with a fixed supply. Euros don't have a fixed supply. 4 banks went bankrupt in the last 2 weeks, and they got huge bailouts, and that's instantly diluted all the euros you have in your bank account. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's dollars, because the dollar is the world reserve currency. It affects everything. Okay, and the European Central Bank, or the euro, is in a worse state than they are in the Fed. We didn't start tackling inflation early enough, so God knows what's to come here in the euro. Alright, but Bitcoin has a fixed supply. There's only 21 million, there can only ever be 21 million. It's the single thing on the planet, on the earth, that the demand for it can't affect the supply. What that means is if everyone on the planet wants a Bitcoin, they can't have one. If everyone on the planet wants a gold coin, well, we'll just keep mining gold. The price will keep going up, but if the demand remains constant, more people will mine gold. Gold mines that were unprofitable at 5k are now profitable because the price of gold will keep going up, and everyone will get their gold. Okay, so even though gold is the best monetary asset before Bitcoin, it's still an order of magnitude. Like, Bitcoin is just so much better than it. Okay, because gold is scarce, but Bitcoin is finite. So that's the first characteristic of Bitcoin that I understood. Once I understood that, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I need to learn a little bit more. The second characteristic is that it's a money that you can own. Okay? Nothing else you can own. You don't own your house. You think you own it until they want to put a motorway through it. Then you realise who owns the house. Okay? Your money, your wealth, you think you own that. You don't. You know, ask any criminal. Their money's turned off. So you can't actually own your money. Alright? The Russians there, you know, all their assets were seized in London and everything. There was no court. It was just decided, nah, we're just going to take all their money. Okay? And, you know, you can justify whether it's right or wrong. I don't really care about that. All I'm saying is you don't own your money. You think you do. And as we transition to digital euro, your property rights on your money get about 100 times worse. Because a digital euro versus a euro that comes through the commercial banking sector, a digital euro, you get your own monetary policy, you get your own interest rate, you get your own, your money basically runs out. You know, you can put that monetary policy that your money bleeds value extra fast. If the political regime wants you can spend your money really fast, and that's coming. Like, that's not an if or when. You know, we were having a debate last night on how early we think it's coming. I think it's a couple of years out. Some of the guys think it's much sooner. But even in the Fed in July, that Fed coin is coming out. So this rollout is happening. It's inevitable and predictable. So we got to be ready for it. Okay? And the last thing about Bitcoin that is really important to understand, and only Bitcoin has this characteristic, is that it's a money that you can spend. There's my water bottle. Ugh. Okay, it's a money you can spend. Now, not all monies are like that. So your euros, at the moment, not only can you not really own them, but you can only spend them on limited things. Okay? And as I said, as we go on in this decade, and we have this massive climate change narrative that came from Davos, totally unelected officials, alright, totally. You know, and I'm not arguing whether the earth is warming. I'm not saying we need to destroy the earth, but we need to objectively listen to all the scientists, not just a Davos agenda, which is all about control. Okay, and they invite all our politicians over and they run over to the private party and hang out with the billionaires, think they're great, and then they come back with all this agenda for us and push it on us. Okay, you know, take electric cars. You know, yes, I'm driving a car now, it's a fucking hybrid. Okay. But like, there's huge argument to say that the best policy for climate change is to use an old car, because the energy to keep replacing cars. Whereas we have these initiatives and grants and all this other stuff to keep replacing your car, keep buying a new car every 3 years. We'll give you the grant. Scrap your old car, and now it's like go electric, go electric. All right, but like, if we really wanted climate change, we'd probably just say, right, whatever you're driving, you're going to maintain that car, you're going to keep that car for 20 years. We're going to let the technology advance, and then we'll pivot everyone into these new vehicles, or 10 years, you know, and that might be more sensible. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, you know, if you think of first principles, and sometimes think for yourself, you know, and sometimes you get a different answer than the agenda that's being pushed. My whole point in this is that your money's not going to buy you steaks in a couple of years. Okay, you're going to have your own personal carbon credit. All right, and if you're poor, if you're a billionaire and a multi-millionaire, it's not going to matter to you, because you can buy carbon credit, so you can still live your own life, do what you want. Just like in COVID, you know, it didn't affect billionaires, it only affected poor people. It was only the poor people that had all the restrictions, and the rich people didn't. Okay, they had their private parties, it still continued. All right, and this is just an example that as we go forward and all these carbon credits come out and you have your own carbon credit policy, well, it doesn't matter if you think that eating meat is healthy and that eating soy burgers is bad for you. You know, it doesn't matter. Your money will not buy you the meat burger. It'll only buy you the soy burger. It won't work, okay? Whereas when you own Bitcoin, it's peer-to-peer money, it's digital cash, you can spend it as you like. No one can control what you spend your Bitcoin on. It works like cash when cash is phased out, okay? Or it works like cash to me at the moment, it's just digital cash, okay? But at the minute we have physical cash, but it's inevitable and predictable that that must be phased out to control the euro, because the euro is losing so much value. We need to get people onto a digital euro so that we control their spending, so that we can put them on their own personal interest rate, and basically keep the Ponzi going for another few years or decades. So that's the three things about Bitcoin that you must understand. If you've got a newbie trying to understand Bitcoin, try and explain to them it's money you can own, okay? It's money with a fixed supply, and it's money that you get to spend. and all other monies, those three things, we're losing them. Guys, if you need help, remember, check out what we do. Keep learning. If you want resources, stick a comment in, and any of the experienced people might drop in some good resources of places to learn. I'll drop in some stuff. But let me know in the comments what you thought of all that. Bitcoin is freedom. It's not too late to learn, but don't procrastinate. Don't wait till Bitcoin is 200 grand before you decide to accumulate it, because it's literally going to take you an order of magnitude longer to retire early. Okay? Everyone can retire early by figuring this out. The whole world is looking for Bitcoin and no one understands it, and that's the beauty of it. It takes a couple of thousand hours to really get a deep understanding of it. Therefore, that's a couple of years for most people, and that's a huge opportunity, that if you're prepared to do the work before everyone else, you know, you're going to get a massive payout. It's not financial advice, it's just how I see the world playing out. And people a lot smarter than me think of the likes of the CEOs of every massive tech company. Okay, every massive tech company, Facebook, Tesla, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, like, they all have huge Bitcoin positions. Alright? I think these guys might be a little bit ahead of my financial advisor, who's 55 years of age, you know, and going on about these great products that I need to get into. Listen to the tech people, listen to the smart people, listen to the billionaires. That's all I do, that's all I've done in my whole life. Have a super day! I'm going consulting. I'm going to grab a coffee here first. And talk to you all soon. Vinny out.